What if I told you that most women are giving men compliments that actually don't matter? That 90% of what you say goes in one ear and out the other. But there's one compliment, just one, that makes a man's mind light up like nothing else. And if you give it the right way, he'll never forget you. See, men hear you're cute, you're handsome, or nice shirt all the time. And sure, it feels good, but it doesn't stick. The compliment that drives him wild is the one that speaks to who he is, not just what he looks like. When you admire his drive, his strength, his ability to handle life, it's like emotional lightning. Suddenly, he feels seen in a way most people never make him feel. And when you become the person who makes him feel that way, he starts craving that energy from you again and again. If you're ready to learn the art of giving the compliments that make men melt for you, keep watching, because I'm about to break down exactly how to do it without sounding fake or over the top. Let's talk about something powerful. Not obvious, not loud, but deeply magnetic. Something that, when used right, can awaken both the emotional and primal side of a man at the same time. Surprisingly, it's not a flirty photo. It's not even touch. It's the right kind of compliment. That's it. That's the door. But not just any compliment. Not "you're hot" or "you look good." Those are nice, but they don't spark anything inside him. They don't stick in his mind when he's lying in bed later, replaying moments with you. Because the truth is, most women grow up learning to accept compliments, not give them, and almost never compliments that feel magnetic. But once you understand what I'm about to share, you'll unlock one of the most underestimated forms of attraction in a woman's toolkit. A compliment is attention, and attention is desire. So when you learn how to compliment a man in a way that hits his core, you stop being just another pretty face. You turn into the woman who makes him feel like a man in ways he's never felt before. And here's the real magic. The compliment that excites him more than anything is never the one about his looks. It's about his impact. Noticing his presence, his energy, his effect on you. That's where the spark begins. Think about it. Most men walk through life rarely hearing words that affirm them as strong, magnetic, or deeply desirable. Sure, they might get recognition for doing a good job, or hear a casual "you're cute" every now and then, but it's rare for a man to hear a woman say something that makes him feel completely irresistible just by being who he is. And that's what makes your words powerful. When a woman tells a man, "There's something about the way you carry yourself, it's dangerously attractive," that's not just flattery, that's electricity. Because you've done more than compliment him, you've noticed him, you've validated not just his appearance, but his masculine essence. That quiet aura he wasn't even aware he gave off. And in that moment, you've made him feel truly seen and wanted. And let me tell you, nothing excites a man more than knowing that his presence alone moves you. But it doesn't end there. Think about what men secretly crave, but hardly admit. To feel like they're winning with a woman. To feel like they're doing something right. To feel like their efforts don't go unnoticed in a world full of men who don't even try. So when he does something simple, fixes something for you, opens a door, remembers your favorite drink, or just listens while you vent about your day, don't just say thanks. Compliment the man behind the action. Say, "You have no idea how attractive it is that you did that without me even asking. It makes me feel so cared for." Boom. That's a fire he can't put out. Because that compliment doesn't just stroke his ego, it ties him to you. Now, he isn't just doing things to impress you. He's doing them because you've made him feel like the man he's always wanted to be. Steady, desirable, reliable. And that's what he starts chasing more of. Here's another example. "The way you look at me when I'm talking, it makes me forget my words. It's intense, in the best way." Notice this isn't about his looks, it's about the effect he has on you. That's the compliment that goes deeper, because what you're really saying is, you're not just attractive, you're captivating. And that lights up his pride that makes him lean in closer, wanting to create more of that reaction from you. Here's the secret most women don't see. Men are not immune to emotion, they're just trained to hide it. So when you give a compliment that focuses on his emotional value, his strength, his leadership, his depth, it doesn't just excite him, it makes him want to rise, to meet you again and again. You're not just boosting his confidence, you're igniting something. Now let's take it further. Compliment his voice. Men almost never hear that their voice is sexy. Say when you're serious, your voice gives me chills. Or when you speak, you have this calm energy that's grounding and incredibly attractive. Do you know how rare it is for a man to hear that his energy is desirable? Not his haircut, not his body, but his essence. That's what makes him feel high value in your eye. And that feeling, it's addictive. He'll crave it, he'll replay it, and he'll connect that feeling with you because you've shown him his worth isn't in what he owns or what he looks like. It's in who he is and who he becomes when he's with you. That's not just a compliment. That's emotional intimacy disguised as words. Now let's go even deeper. There's one kind of compliment that women almost never think to give. But when you do, it doesn't just make him feel attractive, it makes him feel chosen. And that's the ultimate trigger for a man's desire. So let's talk about how to actually deliver these compliments in a way that makes them unforgettable. Because now that you know what to say, let's focus on how to say it. The way you deliver it is the spark that sets the whole thing on fire. The right compliment in the wrong tone falls flat. But the right compliment, said with intention, warmth, or playfulness, that lingers in his mind at 2 a.m. when he can't sleep. That's what makes him obsessed with you. Men don't just hear compliments, they feel them. The way your eyes meet his when you say it, the slight pause before the words, the softness in your tone. All of that tells him it's real, that it's not empty flattery. It's your truth, your instinct, your genuine desire. And men crave being desired in a way that feels raw and authentic. Picture this. He tells you something about his work, or maybe he shares a challenge. You lean in, lower your voice and say, "You know what's attractive? The way you don't give up. The more pressure there is, the more I see your strength." Then pause. Let the silence hang for a second. In that stillness, the compliment lands like lightning. That pause gives your words weight. It makes him replay them later. And you know what adds even more power? Eye contact. Not just looking, but soul-deep eye contact. The kind that says, "I'm not just seeing you, I'm seeing through to you." That kind of eye contact is intimacy. It's bold, it's vulnerable, and it makes the compliment feel like a gentle stroke to his pride. And if you want to take it further, add touch. Don't just say the words. Connect them with physical contact. Maybe your hand brushes against his wrist. Maybe your fingers graze his shoulder. That subtle touch anchors the compliment to his body, making it unforgettable. Or maybe you rest your palm gently against his chest. That simple touch paired with your compliment creates a powerful connection in his mind. It links your touch with admiration. It connects you with the feeling of being respected, wanted, and truly seen. Let's break it down further. Here are some word-for-word lines you can use when you're close to him, maybe curled up together. When the energy is slow and intimate and you want to stir that mix of pride and desire inside him. You can say, "You know what's dangerous about you? You're not just attractive, you're driven. That combination is addictive." Or, "I don't think you even realize how rare your energy is." You could add, "I feel like I'm talking to someone who's going to change things in his own way." Or, "I love the way you handle situations. It's unbelievably sexy watching you take the lead. Even when life feels messy, you can tell him, 'You have this fire in your eyes sometimes. It excites me more than anything.'" These are not just simple compliments. They are gentle pushes toward his best self. They are invitations to step into his power while being with you. And once a man starts to connect you with the most confident, masculine, proud version of himself, you've got him hooked. Not just physically, but emotionally and even spiritually. That's how deep it runs. And don't hold back from giving these words after he does something small but meaningful. Maybe he fixes something without being asked. Maybe he shields you in a quiet way, like placing his arm around you while crossing the street. That's when you say, "I feel so safe around you." That's incredibly attractive. That compliment isn't just admiration, it's approval, and it awakens something primal in him. Now maybe you wonder, isn't this too much? Won't it sound like I'm trying too hard? The truth is, only if it's fake. If your words come from a real place, if they're given at the right time with warmth and eye contact, you won't seem desperate. You'll come across as strong, sensual, emotionally intelligent. You'll be the kind of woman who's comfortable enough to make a man feel like a king. And that's rare. Let's be real. Most men hardly ever hear compliments like this. They might hear, "You look nice," or "You're smart," but almost never do they hear, "I see the man you are when no one's watching, and that version of you excites me more than you know." That kind of line makes him feel exposed in the best way, because it tells him you're not with him for how he looks to the world. You're with him for who he truly is, and the man he's becoming. So let me leave you with this. The compliment that stirs a man's desire more than anything is the one that speaks to his ambition, acknowledges his effort, respects his identity, and mixes in just a little playful admiration. That's the formula. When you can deliver that type of compliment with softness and confidence at the right moment, you stop being just another face in the crowd. You become the voice in his mind that reminds him of his strength. You become the obsession, the calm and the fire he doesn't want to lose. And here's the secret. You don't even need to use your body to seduce him. That part is easy. What's unforgettable is when you seduce him with your eyes, your tone, your timing, and your belief in who he is. That's how you leave a permanent mark on his heart and mind. And it excites him more than you can imagine. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Let's talk about the compliment that lights a man up like fireworks, but not in the way most women think. It's not, "You're so hot," or "You're strong." Those are fine. But the real compliment that moves him is when you express belief in his future, when you show that you see not only the man he is today, but also the man he's becoming. Because when you speak to his potential, you're speaking to the part of him that wants to rise. And nothing stirs a man's desire for you more than the sense that you genuinely believe in his greatness. So how do you do that without sounding fake, awkward, or forced? Start simple. Instead of saying, "You're amazing," say, "There's something about the way you think. I feel like you're going to do something big." Or, "I don't know exactly what it is yet, but I know it's going to be powerful." When a woman says that to a man, it doesn't just boost his ego. It stirs something primal. It makes him want to prove you right. Suddenly, he's craving the kind of validation only you seem able to give. He starts to see you as the one who truly understands him. And that kind of bond, that's emotional magnetism at its peak. Here's why it works. Most men carry a heavy, unspoken pressure to be more successful, more capable, more steady. Very few people, including women they date, acknowledge the emotional weight of that pressure. But when you compliment him in a way that says, "I see how hard you're trying," or "You're going to be incredible at this," you touch his deepest need. The need to be admired for the journey, not just the result. That's when you stop being just another person in his life and start becoming his safe place. And once a man feels emotionally safe, truly seen and genuinely desired, he won't just want you, he'll feel like he can't lose you. And here's how you take it to the next level. After speaking to his potential, add a light touch of flirtation. Blend admiration with sensuality. Say something like, "You're dangerous, you know that? You have this quiet confidence, it's ridiculously sexy." Then pause, smile, tilt your head. That combination is lethal. You've praised his ambition, then lay it in attraction. You've made him feel like a mix of James Bond and a poet at the same time. Seen, admired, and desired all in one breath. But remember, this compliment can't sound rehearsed. It has to feel real and private. The best time isn't in a group, not over text, not when he's distracted. It needs to land in a quiet moment. Maybe you're lying beside him, your fingers tracing his chest, and he's opening up about something he's struggling with. That's when you whisper, "You're going to crush this. I know how your mind works." That's the moment, because it's not just the words. It's the timing, the softness, and the energy behind them that make them unforgettable. I want you to remember this. A man can hear 1,000 compliments in a year and forget them. But one moment, when a woman makes him feel seen exactly where he doubts himself, that moment stays forever. And the reason this type of compliment feels so intoxicating isn't because it's explicit, it's because it softens his guard. It's emotional foreplay, the kind that makes his heart race before you've even touched him. Do you get that? A compliment that touches his ambition, identity, and confidence is like a drug. And if you're the one who gives him that feeling again and again, you become irresistible to him. The best part is, you don't need to exaggerate or overuse it. Understand that you don't need to compliment him every single time you speak. That actually weakens the effect. It's far better when it feels deserved, when it comes after he opens up, or when he shares something vulnerable. That's when it hits him the deepest. Now let's take it further. When you mix curiosity into a compliment, you make him feel challenged in the most exciting way. Say something like, "You know, I feel like there's so much more to you than what you show most people. Like there's a wildness you keep hidden." That's when his eyes light up, because you've seen through the surface. You've touched his sense of mystery. You've turned the compliment into a playful challenge. And we both know flirting is fun, but when it feels just a little dangerous, it becomes unforgettable. Let's talk about how words can turn into sparks of electricity. Because now that you understand what to say, the kind of compliment that touches a man's soul, it's time to focus on how to say it. This is where your delivery becomes the match that lights the fire. The right words in the wrong tone fall flat. But the right words, spoken with intention, with warmth, with a playful touch, that's what stays in his mind at 2 a.m. when he can't sleep. That's what makes him crave you. Here's the hidden secret. Men don't just hear your compliment, they actually feel it. It's in the way your eyes connect with his, the tiny pause between your words, the softness in your voice. All of it tells him this is genuine. It shows him this isn't empty flattery. This is your truth, your instinct, your real attraction. And men long for that, for a desire that feels authentic. Imagine this. He's just shared something about his work, or maybe he admitted a personal challenge. You lean closer, lower your voice a little, and say, "You know what? That's so attractive, the way you refuse to give up. Honestly, the more pressure there is, the more I notice your strength." Then, you let silence hang for a moment, just a second, and in that pause, the compliment hits like lightning. That quietness gives your words weight. It makes him hold on to them, think about them, and replay them in his head later. And what makes it even more powerful? Eye contact. Not the casual kind, but the deep kind. The one that says, "I'm not just looking at you, I'm seeing the truth of you." That kind of gaze feels bold, intimate, almost like foreplay. It makes the compliment feel like a gentle caress to his ego. Now, let's bring in body language. If you want to raise the impact, don't just rely on words. Add touch. Maybe your hand brushes against his wrist. Maybe your fingers glide over his shoulder. Or maybe you place your palm lightly on his chest. That physical gesture, paired with your compliment, creates a mental connection. It links your touch with admiration. It ties you to the feeling of being respected and wanted. Let's go deeper with some word-for-word examples you can use when you're curled up next to him. When the atmosphere is slow and tender, and you want to stir both pride and desire in him, you might say, "You know what's dangerous about you? You're not just attractive, you're driven." That mix, it's addictive. I don't think you even realize how rare your energy is. Or say, "I feel like I'm with someone who changes the game in his own way." Or even, "I love the way you handle things. Watching you lead is so attractive." And even when things get messy, you have that look sometimes, like there's fire inside you. That turns me on more than anything. These lines aren't just compliments, they're nudges toward his best self. They invite him to feel strong and confident with you. And when a man starts connecting you with the most masculine, powerful version of himself, that's when you've got him. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually too. And don't hesitate to compliment him after small but meaningful actions. Maybe he fixes something without being asked. Maybe he protects you in a subtle way, like placing his arm around you while crossing the street. That's the moment to softly say, "You make me feel so safe with you." And that's really attractive. That kind of compliment isn't just praise, it's feminine approval. It awakens something deep in him, something primal. Now you may wonder, doesn't this all sound like too much? Won't I come across as trying too hard? The truth is, only if your compliments aren't real. But when they're authentic, when they're timed well, said with eye contact and warmth, you don't look desperate. You look powerful. You look sensual. You look like a woman who's comfortable enough to make a man feel like a king. And that's rare. Here's the reality. Men don't hear compliments like this very often. Sure, they might get, "You look nice," or "You're smart." But what they almost never hear is, "I see the man you are when nobody's watching, and that man excites me more than you'll ever know." A line like that makes him feel bare in front of you, but in the most beautiful way, because it tells him you're not just with him for what he shows the world. You're with him for who he's striving to be, for the man he's still becoming. So remember this, the kind of compliment that truly moves a man is the one that touches his ambition, notices his effort, honors his identity, and adds just a touch of admiration for his masculinity. That's the perfect mix. That's the formula. When you can give that kind of compliment with softness, confidence, and in the right moment, you stop being just another pretty face. You become the voice he hears in his head when he needs strength. You become his safe place, his fire, his obsession. And notice, you don't need to win him with your body. That part is easy. What truly makes you unforgettable is how you use your eyes, your voice, your timing, and your faith in who he is. That's the real seduction. That's how you stay etched in his memory forever.